This
consultant.
conference will now be recorded.
Yeah. So I've been working as a Signavio consultant from the more than last 2 more years. Okay. So I've given trainings on. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. I've given trainings on SAP FI. I trained over 200 plus participants on FI, and then I've been giving trainings on Signavio from the last more than 1 year, where I trained over 50 plus participants so far. So I'm a certified Signavio consultant, certified application
Your device
associate.
is ready to pair. You are now
So,
connected.
yeah. So Dilip, can you please be on mute? Hi. Yeah, thank you. So I'm SAP certified application associate as SAP Signavio, and I'm certified SAP build developer, and then I'm certified S4 HANA public cloud, sorry, private cloud for financials, and then I'm certified in Celonis. So these are my certifications. As part of our demo, we are going to cover these topics. As part of this, I'm going to explain you what are the topics we are going to discuss, or I'm going to train you during our training course, the curriculum. And I'll give you an overview, or I'll summarize the Signavio transformation suite, and I'll show you the Signavio tool. I mean, I will demonstrate the Signavio tool, and then the Q&A session is enabled. So if you have any queries in the middle of discussion, you can ask me if you have. Okay. So the course objective, after learning this Signavio course, you will be able to implement the real-time oriented scenarios. So we will be, I'm going to teach you in such a way that, how to understand the business processes, even you are not familiar with the business processes. And I'll explain you how to understand that by taking an example of procure to pay. So then how we can replicate the process, end-to-end process in Signavio process intelligence, how to write the signal code to replicate those. So not only the business process understanding, you can also get the technical expertise as well, how to replicate those activities in the Signavio tool. And then it will enable you to, the course will enable you to be ready for the certifications. So I'll show you how the certification is going to be conducted by SAP for Signavio. So for Signavio, we have two certifications. One is process data analyst. So process data analyst, which purely focuses on the process mining. So as part of Signavio transformation suite, we have different components, which I'm going to explain you further. But as part of this transformation suite, we have process insights, process intelligence, process manager, process governance, a journey modeler, and collaboration hub. As part of this, process and data analyst will focus on process insights, process intelligence, process collaboration hub, and plug and play, plug and gain approach. So I'm going to explain you these concepts as part of our training. And the second certification is business process consultant. So as part of this course, which will focus on the process manager and modeling part and the process governance. This purely focuses on the modeling part. Okay. So by attending our training, you will be able to complete this certification, as well as I'm going to explain you the detailed detailed language, or detailed steps, or detailed notations of BPM and 2.0 standards, which will help you to design your process model end to end on your own. So this is our training curriculum or content, which I'm going to explain you as part of our training. So first I'll I'll give you the introduction of process mining. What is process mining, and how it is evolved over the period of time, why it is so important for the organizations. As part of that, you know, I'll give you the overview of SAP. So some of you might be from SAP background, some of you might not be from SAP background. So you need not to worry about the SAP, how the SAP looks like, and how the data gets stored in SAP. So I'll explain you in detail about the data structure of SAP, how it is stored, and how to remember and all. So So I'll just give you an overview of this SAP. Then we'll jump into the next topic, which is manufacturing process overview. So where I'm going to explain you how the general manufacturing industry functions. Generally any industry or any business runs on multiple processes. So how each and every process is interlinked to other process, I'll explain you in detail. Out of all the processes, I'll take a process which is procure to pay process as a business case study. Okay, and then I'll bring you through this procure to pay process in detail. What are the different activities involved in this procure to pay process, how to understand them, how the respective activity related data gets stored in your SAP system at table level, what are the different tables available, and what kind of data can be found in the respective table. I'll explain you in detail, and also I'll explain you what are the critical KPIs to be measured. So when we talk about process mining or modeling anything, so that needs to provide some value relation to the business. Unless we do not provide the value relation to the business, there is no use of Signavio, right? So I'm going to explain you what are the different critical KPIs to be measured as part of procure to pay process, which can help the business to understand how their business process is performing. So I'll explain you in detail, and how to replicate those KPIs in our Signavio process intelligence. So I'll explain you in detail. So then, uh, whenever we talk about the Signavio process intelligence and building the dashboards, we need the expertise of Signal code. Signal stands for Signavio Analytics Language, which is owned by Signavio itself. The Signal code is similar to SQL, structured query language. So I'm going to teach you the syntaxes of Signal, how to remember them, how to practice them. Okay, then once you get the hands-on experience on Signal, then we'll jump into the process intelligence. Okay, where I'm going to explain you the concepts related to process intelligence, like what are the different connectors available in Signavio process intelligence, and by taking an example of SAP connection, how we can establish the connection with respect to source system to our Signavio process intelligence. And then how to extract the data, what are the different steps, or what are the different tabs available as part of source data, how to remember them, what is the use of these tabs as part of source data, and all those things I'll explain in detail. And then once we are done with the extracting the data, then we'll jump into the process data pipeline, where we have to write the transformation code. Okay, generally Signavio, not only Signavio, any process mining tool can only understand the event log data. It cannot understand the raw data, whatever we have in our source system. That raw data cannot be understood by any process mining tool. Those, these tools can understand only the event log data. So to be able to feed that event log data to the system like Signavio, we need to write transformation code. How to write this transformation code, this is what very important in Signavio process intelligence, where we need the technical expertise in terms of writing the code. So I'm going to teach you how to write this transformation code from the scratch using Signal code. And then I'm going to teach you the ETL jobs, how to perform these extractions, transformations, and loads to be executed. And then how to create the widgets, or how to build the dashboard in the Signavio process intelligence. Then once we are done with this, then we will jump into the process modeling. So as part of Signavio process manager, uh, we have most widely used process modeling language is BPMN 2.0, which is globally recognized language to document your process. So to be able to document your process, or to create a process model diagram, we need expertise in BPMN 2.0 standards. So there are several elements available as part of BPMN 2.0 standards. What are those? How to remember those? When to use what? Okay. So I'll explain you clearly as part of our training. So that you can create the process model diagram from the scratch. So we are going to mine procure to pay process, and we are going to create a process model diagram for procure to pay process itself. So throughout our training, I'm going to explain you the explain you the procure to pay process by taking examples from procure to pay process itself. Okay. So which will help you to understand end to end what is the use of the Signavio tool from end to end. Okay, then I'm going to explain you what are the different capabilities of Signavio Process Manager. Once we create a process model diagram as per BPMN 2.0 standards in Process Manager, how can we leverage those capabilities of Process Manager for this particular BPMN diagram? And we have the collaboration hub in Signavio transformation suite. What is that process collaboration hub? How does it help the business? Okay, so then for every session, I'll be happy to assist you whenever you get stuck. So coming to the background of Signavio, generally Signavio was founded in 2009 based out of Berlin, Germany. uh, Earlier, Signavio was a business process management software alone. So when we talk about business process management, using this BPM tool, which is Signavio, clients use it to create a process model diagrams and to visualize the process flows end to end. That's it. Signavio could not offer the process mining capabilities at that point of time. So that was only the BPM tool like MS Visio or Adonis or kind of thing. Whereas Signavio was acquired by SAP in 2021, okay, and then became SAP Signavio. The purpose of this acquisition is, at that point of time, lot of migration projects have started, right? So for every organization, migration is very crucial part. Lot of migration projects fail just because of not understanding their as is data or as is process. And if you do not understand your current process, you cannot design your to be process or target process. So just to fill that gap, they've acquired the Signavio tool to foster their transformation journey, which will also help the organizations to transform their process. That means in terms of achieving the streamlining the process, achieving the objective of streamlining the process or optimizing the process. So as part of that, Signavio can help the organizations to identify their as is process, and which can help them to design their as is process and to be process models. Okay, so later on, once SAP acquired the Signavio, SAP started enhancing the capabilities of Signavio. Okay, by making a lot of R&D on the tool, and they have introduced a lot of tools as part of Signavio. Earlier, it used to offer only BPM software, right? Now, later on, SAP introduced process mining into the place where which can help the organizations to identify their as-is process, and process manager can help the organizations to design their as-is process flows and to be process flows. And then they have introduced process governance as well into the transformation suite, which can help them to understand, or which can help them to manage their process versions or process revisions over the period of time. Ultimately, it helps the organizations to manage the sustainability or compliances regarding the process flows. So like that, over the period of time, SAP added a lot of tools as part of Signavio transformation suite, which includes process insights, process intelligence, process manager, journey modeler, process governance, and process collaboration hub as well. So we'll see in detail how it, what are the different uh, solutions available as part of Signavio transformation suite. This is the Signavio transformation suite. Okay, if you see this wheel, you can see various solutions offered by Signavio. Okay, this is the process collaboration hub. Generally, whenever we log into Signavio, collaboration hub is the central entry point. From collaboration hub itself, we can navigate to other solutions as well, like process intelligence manager, journey modeler, governance, and that. Whereas process insights is a separate URL altogether, which is not part of your collaboration hub. Generally, this Signavio Process Insights is a plug and play solution offered by Signavio. You just can plug in your system to Process Insights, and it will start extracting the data automatically. and it will start analyzing the data and identify the bottlenecks in your process. And for those blockers, bottlenecks, whatever the process insights is going to identify, it will automatically provide the recommendations for those blockers. Okay, so this is like, AI powered tool. So you just plug in, that's it. Process insights will do everything. Okay, there are some limitations in process insights. Those are, the process insights tool can only connect with SAP systems, it cannot connect with non-SAP systems, and it can extract the data only related to 7 end-to-end processes. Okay, so if you want to mine other than these 7 end-to-end processes, you cannot do that. Okay, and these process insights can only capture the standard data, standard tables and fields from SAP. It cannot capture the customized tables and fields related data. And we cannot customize the dashboard whatever the way we want. Okay, and you can extract the data of up to 50 GB itself. That means you can start analyzing your data for at least 1 month or 2 months or maximum 3 months, not more than that. If you want to perform the root cause analysis and to be able to connect with non-SAP systems as well, and to extract the customized data as well, process intelligence has been introduced. Process intelligence is also a process mining solution, which is pure process mining solution. By connecting your source system, any source system, SAP or non-SAP systems, to process intelligence, you can start visualizing your end-to-end process together. Okay, and you can build the dashboards whatever the way you want, and you can extract the data even it is a customized tables and fields. Okay, so these are the benefits of process intelligence, and also as part of process intelligence, you can find various widgets. Okay, using which you can visualize your as is process flow, and you can use various widgets provided by Signavio process intelligence to create the key performance indicators. Okay, it can, not only, the process intelligence, using process intelligence you can extract the data of 1 year or 2 years based on your license. Okay, you can extract the data of whatever the analysis you want to perform, you can extract the data. Okay, so this is what process insights and intelligence. So that is why if you see here, these two are highlighted in same color, because these two solutions are process mining solutions. Whereas process manager and journey modeler, these tools are modeling tools. Okay, that means modeling your process flows. Okay, using process manager, you can create a process flow diagrams for your as is process and for your to be process flows, and even you can document your process in detail. You can document your process at even a task level. Okay, very granular level of documentation can be done using process manager. As part of process manager, there are several modeling languages available, like BPMN 2.0, value chain. Using BPMN 2.0 standards, you can create a process flow diagram and maintain the detailed documentation about your process. Whereas using value chain, you can create your organization's taxonomy from level 1 to level 5 or level 6 and so on. So that means, uh, this acts like a single source of truth where you can visualize your end-to-end organization structure at a single place. Okay, so how many number of departments are there in your organization? For each and every department, what are the different responsibilities? For each and every responsibility, what is the end-to-end process? For in every end-to-end process, you may have different tasks. Is there any sub processes are involved? Say for example, you have procurement department, sales department, production department, other departments as well. If you click on procurement department, it will redirect to the level 2, where you can visualize the responsibilities of procurement department. You may have direct procurement, indirect procurement. If you click on direct procurement, it will redirect to the level 3, where you can visualize the end-to-end process flow. Say like a purchase requisition, purchase order, goods receipt, invoice and payment, all those things might be your end-to-end process. If you click on create purchase order, for example, that will be redirected to the next process flow, where you can visualize how your user is posting that particular activity. So say for example, he needs to log into SAP and enter ME21 in transaction code, and then enter these fields. Okay, and based on the contract, they need to raise the purchase order, right? So all those very granular level of process flows can be created and monitor at a single place. Okay, using journey modeler, you can create your end-to-end process flow or journey of your stakeholder. When we talk about stakeholder might be your supplier, employee, customer, etc., right? So for example, you have customer, how your customer journey looks like in your organization, how you are getting the leads from the market, how you are getting the lead of that particular customer from the market, how how many of them are getting converted into sales, and what is the feedback of each and every task in your customer journey map, where you are lacking, okay, where the business needs to improve. So those details can be analyzed using the touch points mentioned in the customer journey map. Okay, that is what journey model. When we talk about process governance, this process governance can help you to manage process compliances. Okay, so for example, you have the current state of process as is process with 10 steps or 15 steps. Okay, say for example, if you want to delete one activity, you cannot delete by default, right? By going into the process manager and deleting the activity will lead to organizational changes itself, right? So to be able to make sure that the process activities are going to be deleted or added, okay, that process needs to be approved by the respective process owner. You can manage those process related approval workflows using process governance, which will help you to comply with the internal rules and regulations or external rules and regulations. Okay, when it comes to process automation, generally Signavio cannot automate your process, but Signavio can identify the automation potential in your data based on your data, which can you can integrate your system with your process automation tool like SAP Build, RPA tool, robotic process automation, so which will help you to optimize your process. So as part of your enterprise automation, the Signavio can help you to head towards the automation areas, okay, which will help you to streamline or optimize your organizational processes. Okay, so this is all about the Signavio transformation suite, which will help the business to streamline or optimize their processes using various solutions of Signavio. No, any doubts so far, or I'm going so fast? Let us make little interactive. No,
Naren. Hi.
sorry, I can't hear you.
Hi, Naren. Myself,
Yeah,
Dilip.
yeah,
Yeah. I have a query so the process automation which you're showing that so 2024 to 25, the same scenario was appeared there, or else any changes was happening with the recent Orlando SAP.
uh, your voice is not clear. Can you please be little louder? I can't hear you properly.
One second.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah. Hi.
Yeah, able to hear my voice now?
Yes, I think two people are talking.
Hello.
Yeah. So who's this?
How
Dilip
are you?
or Srinivas? Yeah. Hi, Dilip. Can
Naren,
you go ahead first? Yeah.
able to hear my voice?
Yes, yes, I can hear you clearly. Yeah.
Hello.
I can hear you, Dilip. I don't know.
Okay, so Naren, in the meantime, so you
Yeah.
can hear me, right?
Oh,
Yes,
it's
yes, I
okay.
can hear
Just
you.
please carry on. So I'll take the
Yeah.
questions in the last.
Okay.
Sure.
So regarding the process intelligence and process insight, okay.
Okay.
So I think both are having the same URL, right? Or is it a different URLs?
Different URLs.
Okay.
Insights
So,
is a separate URL. Intelligence is as part of collaboration hub. Insights is
oh,
different URL.
okay. So in the collaboration, we will see process insight, process manager, genre model, process governance, and automation, all five of them.
No, no, no. See, process automation is only, to some extent you can automate your workflows here. If you
Hmm.
want to automate advanced workflows, you can adopt RPA tool. Okay,
Okay.
and along with this automation, you can also automate your task. Whatever the inefficiencies you identify using process insights or intelligence, those tasks can be automated using RPA tool. So this is not as part of Signavio directly, but can be collaborated. That is what they're meaning here, Signavio's meaning. Okay.
Okay. So that means in the process collaboration hub, we see the in the same URL, we will be seeing process intelligence, process manager, journey model, and process governance.
Right, you're right.
Okay. And in when it comes to the process insight and process intelligence, in the process insight, so it's only seven, and it's only for the standard tables, and it's
Yes,
only for the SAP.
you're right.
Okay, in the process intelligence, when it comes to process intelligence, I think there is a little different because it can be linked to any data, any system, and we can use any Z tables or anything, right?
Yes, you're right.
Okay, okay then. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So, Dilip, do you want to ask something? I don't know. Okay, fine. Okay, so I'll clearly explain in our training what are the, I'm going to show you the tool, the process insights, intelligence, everything, and what are the different capabilities of insights and what are the different capabilities of intelligence. So I'll clearly explain you all these topics. Okay, so what are the different connectors available as part of intelligence, and even you can upload manual data as well using CSV files. So I'll show you this. Okay.
Naren, just I have a questions like so
Yes.
MM and SD is required to design this Signavio process and collaborations, this workflow and automation side.
Not no, not specifically, but the thing is, generally, not functional expertise is required, but
No,
as part
the
of
flows will be happening by the MM team or material management or sales and distribution team was there. So there
yeah,
will be decide so which part is doing the thing. Here it is Signavio will decide when we give the prompt and it will be take automatic actions or else need to involve into the each and the step by step process over there.
yeah. So
Signavio side.
let me explain. So generally, when it comes to Signavio as a project, okay, based on the process you mine. Say for example, if you're mining procure to pay, okay, you are a Signavio consultant. You want to mine the procure to pay process. As part of procure to pay process, you need to involve consultant who knows more about the procurement part, and you need to involve FI guy who can explain you to integrate how the integration happens between procurement and the finance. Right now, in the initial phase of project, whenever you're going to gather the requirements or understand, whenever you're going to understand the process along with the process owners from the customer, right? So you should be there being a Signavio consultant. You should involve your consultant as well as FA consultant, and you have to gather the requirements from the client in terms of understanding the process, how they are executing their activities. Are they using any custom system or custom table or any other different systems, and so on, right? So once you understand their process, you will being a Signavio consultant, you will start connecting with the respective systems, and then you will start mining the process. When we talk about mining, we need to write the code, right? To be able to write that, we should know the technical details like tables and fields or other technical details, right? So then we will reach out to respect to consultant or FA consultant to understand that, and then we'll write the code, and then we will build the dashboard. Whatever the business is expecting from us, we will try to understand from the from the specific functional consultants and develop the same in our Signavio, and then we will showcase to the client. This is what generally happens when we are going to create process flows also. Yes, you are right. Being a modeler, that is Signavio consultant, you will create the process flows. Whereas to be able, to create those process flows, first you have to understand what is the process. To do that, you need help from or FI, and then you people have to interact with your client and understand the process flow and create the process flow diagrams in process manager. So being a Signavio project, not only Signavio consultant will be involved, along with Signavio consultant, the respective function consultants, and as well as the process owners or users will be involved to mine the process and to create the process flows. This is what generally happens. Does it answer your question, Dilip?
Understand, Naren. So, if workflows will be failed, if in case, so auto triggering workflows, or somewhere I have an idea about the workflows and how to be P2P generations will be happening. So, if workflows will be generally failed in this situation, so what is the next cause it was?
See, these workflows are not related to the um, end one, right? Okay, so where you execute the approval workflows in terms of, say for example, if you create purchase order, if the purchase order value is this one, so this needs to be sent for this respect to approval, not such kind of approvals, because we have SAP's approval, I mean a workflow related module, right, for that. So this is not that approval workflow. This process governance will help you to manage your process related approval workflows. Say for example, you have your as is process, okay, in which you have around 15 activities. Say for example, you have create purchase requisition, purchase order, goods receipt, invoice, and payment. So during in between of your process, you might have deviations as well. So like you have purchase order. Once purchase order is created, you have changes as well, right? So in terms of delivery date, or in terms of quantity or price, various changes might happen to your purchase order or invoice. Or once you receive the goods, those goods might be returned back to supplier. If you're returning back those goods to supplier, that means those are defective. Why, what is the defective rate, right? So all those are deviations in your process. So you have you have created a process flow for your as is process with 15 activities, okay, which can be executed in 10 activities, whereas it is taking 15 activities or 15 steps in your process. So that is what your as is process, that is approved and published in your Signavio. Whereas going forward, you want to delete one activity or one step, and you want to publish into your collaboration hub. So will it happen blindly? No, right? So the respective process owner should approve that, because he knows everything in and out about your process. And if you are making some changes to your process flow diagram, he should be aware of it, right? So unless he approves it, that is not the authorized process flow in your organization, right? So to manage those compliances for your process flows, the process governance is introduced, not for workflows like PO approvals, PR approvals, and all. Does it answer your question, Dilip?
Got it, Naren. So sorry to ask other question, like any
No worries.
integrations tools it was involved, like like cloud connectors, or else like any third-party connectors from the Microsoft side. So any opportunity to connect with the Signavio to the third-party connectors?
Yes, say for example, you have the data. See, if you have the data in SAP ECC or S4, you have the connector. You can, establish the connection with your respective source system with Signavio, and then you can start extract the data and visualize the data. Whereas if you have the data, say for example, if you want to mine hide to retire process, where the data gets stored in your success factors, the connector is available for success factors. Or sometimes you might have the data available in your Azure data lake. Sometimes nowadays every organization or most of the organization is saving their data in data lake, right? So the data might be scattered in different systems. They want to have in a cluster database, which is data lake, Azure data lake. So we have the connector available for data lake as well. Using that connector, you can be able to integrate with the respective data lake, and you can start extracting the data from the data lake into Signavio, and you can start analyzing the process related data, so which can help you to understand how your process is flowing and what are the deviations or
Got
bottlenecks you have, all those things. Yeah.
Got which is non-SAP systems and SAP systems both will be connect, right? For Signavio.
Yes, yes, you're
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
And
So
sorry.
yeah, Naren.
good.
So do we need to have the coding language knowledge full-fledged, or you will teach us here with the codings which are needed to complete this one?
Yeah, I'll teach that. See,
Okay.
uh, for that we need signal language. Okay, signal stands
Mm-hmm.
for Signavio analytics language, which is
Mm-hmm.
similar to SQL, structured query language. So I'm going to teach you what are the different syntaxes available as part of signal, how to remember them, how to practice them. I'll make you practice on these syntaxes, and I'm going to share my screen and give you the control where you have to write the code. I'll assist you, so that you can get that confidence that you can write the code. Let me give my example. I'm a FI guy, I'm a commerce graduate. Okay, so I don't have any technical expertise, or I didn't learn any technical stuff in my education, right? So yeah, I could learn the signal code, right? It is possible. If it is possible for me, which is possible for you as well.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Default templates will be available for this.
Yes, we have the templates also. I'll show you
Okay.
those templates as well. Okay. Any doubts other than this? Shall I proceed further? Okay, fine. Yeah, let me show you the tool, or before going into the tool, okay, let me explain. See, generally using this Signavio, okay, you can visualize your end-to-end process, okay. So and the data might be scattered in various systems, so you can get the data into one system and you can visualize how your process is flowing, what are the issues happening in your process, which will help you to analyze analyze your process and understand the root cause of that issue, and you can take the uh, improvement activities which will reduce your cost and which will speed up and streamline your business processes, and which will help your customer satisfaction. Say for example, when I talk about the customer satisfaction improvement, how can it help the organizations to improve their customer satisfaction generally? Say for example, you're mining procure to pay process. Okay, so during the procure to pay process, your suppliers are not able to deliver the goods to you on time. Okay, if you're not able to receive the goods on time from your supplier, you'll not be able to produce, or you'll not be able to process your production on time, right? If you're not able to produce the goods on time, you'll not be able to deliver the goods to your customer, which will lead to customer dissatisfaction, right? So by identifying that particular root cause, you can focus on that area where you can negotiate with your suppliers. if, if that particular problem still exist, then you can change your supplier. So to identify such kind of root causes, okay, you can use the Signavio tool to perform those root causes, and which will lead to your customer satisfaction, which will also lead to your increase in your revenue. Okay, and then the Signavio tool will also help you to improve your process over the period of time. See, when we talk about process improvements, the process improvements cannot happen over a single night, right? It will take years together, right? So the Signavio tool can help them to understand, or to load the data and to understand their problems, and to take the initiatives, improvement initiatives over the period of time. Okay, and then which will help them to improve the compliance by detecting non-compliant processes or fraud. Okay, these are some benefits of Signavio. Not only process mining, it is all about Signavio. Okay, so I'll show you the tool. So generally, when we log into Signavio, we will land into Collaboration Hub, but I'm not able to show you because this is the live system, which I cannot show you. Okay, so I've just directly jumped into the process intelligence. By clicking on this 9 dots, you can see whatever the licenses you have in your workspace. those licenses can be seen here. If you have license only for process intelligence, along with collaboration hub, you can see only process intelligence. If you have the license for process manager, then you can see intelligence manager collaboration hub like this. Okay, so now I've entered into the process intelligence. So this is the process intelligence. So if you let me show you the dashboard, how it looks like.
Don't mind, could you please click that 9 dots one more time?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, intelligence and process manager. Okay. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So whatever the license you have, those licenses are visible here. Okay. So fine. So this is the dashboard. So as I mentioned, the process intelligence helps the businesses to understand or identify or discover their as-is process. So based on the data, it identifies the process like this. Okay, how your process is flowing. If you see here, once purchase order is created, if you see, there are 2200 purchase orders, out of which for 34 purchase orders the delivery date got changed, and the currency got changed, plant got changed. Okay, and net price got changed. Out of 85 purchase orders got deleted. So you can find your as is process like this. Okay, and also you can build your own dashboard. Okay, like this: how many number of purchase orders are there, what is the total PO value, how many number of invoices are there, what is the on time delivery rate, what is the late payment rate, or what is the automation rate. All these KPIs can be built in your dashboard. Okay, if you want to drill down your analysis, you can drill down like this. Say for example, you have late delivery of 25%, whereas in their organization they want to have this KPI within 5%, whereas they have 25%, which is, the late delivery rate should be within 5%, but they have 25%, which is very high for them. So which suppliers are causing this issue? You can drill down here. So these are the top 10 suppliers who's causing this issue. Okay, you can see there are 272 purchase orders for this particular supplier called Hub Site, where for this particular supplier, the late delivery rate is 84%. Okay, so you can directly go to that particular supplier and ask him, why the goods are being delivered late. Okay, so why can't they deliver on time as per the agreement? When we talk about late delivery, what does it mean? Generally, when we came into an agreement with the supplier, right, so supplier might agree for some the delivery date. Say for example, if they create purchase order on 3rd June, the goods might be delivered to them within 1 week. That means by 10th itself the goods will be delivered to them, but which is not happening for this supplier. So such kind of issues can be encountered using the process mining tool, which is process intelligence tool. You can even drill down to next level, for which plant or for which company code this issue is happening, and for which transaction the issue is happening. Those details can be analyzed using the process intelligence dashboard. So here you can see various widgets are available here. So what is process discovery, variant explorer, process conformance, all these widgets we'll discuss. What is this charts and tables? Generally charts and tables widget is used to define your own KPIs like this. Okay, so how to create those widgets and how to use them and all, we will see in our training. Okay, so to be able to visualize this data in dashboard, so as I mentioned, Signavio only reads the event log data, only can understand the event log data, not the raw data. To be able to get that event log data available in dashboard, we need to transform the raw data into event log data. So to transform the raw data into event log data, first we need the raw data. To get the raw data, we need the connection. So here you can see, here we need to establish the connection. Let me show you the various available connectors. Okay, here you can see these are the available connectors which are available as part of process intelligence. Okay, so once you establish the connection with your respective source system, the data will be extracted in source data, where I'm going to show you what are the different strategies to be followed while extracting the data, because the data extraction is not a smaller thing. It will take lot of time. So there are a couple of strategies to be followed while extracting the data. So what are those and how to understand them, I'll teach you. And once you extract the data, then you can start transforming this raw data into event log data. When we talk about transformation, this is the transformation code. Okay, so this is the signal code. Okay, so how to use signal code to transform the raw data into event log data. So I'm going to teach you how to write this code from the scratch. Okay, so once you write the code and once you define these events in the process data pipeline, then you will be able to visualize the dashboard like whatever I've shown you just now. Okay, this is what process intelligence altogether. Is this clear?
Okay, so in my access, I don't see connections. I only see the process and actions.
That is access related things. Okay, you should have manager access to be able to see all these tabs.
Okay, I don't have the process manager access. I have only process governance and collaboration.
Yeah, that is also if your organization has procured the license for process manager but still you're not able to see, that means you have the authorization issues. They have not given any edit access to process manager as well as for process intelligence. Only you can view the data, that's it. You can view the dashboards.
Uh, but already existing data flows and that also I can't see.
Existing data flows, I
No,
didn't.
business already, the implementation team created some process intelligences and reports, so
Mhm.
I can't see them also. The
Yeah, that is
existing.
also I think access issue. They need to
Uh,
provide the access to you actually, so
uh,
then only you'll be able to see that.
okay. So I need to get the process manager access, then I will get all these.
Not only for process manager, the user rights are different. For intelligence, the user rights are different.
Mm,
I'll show you how how the different what are the different roles we have in process intelligence and for
mm.
process manager as well. So how
Okay.
to restrict the access rights at folder level, at even process level also we can restrict.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So I'll teach you everything as part of user management. You can see here.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
So the next solution as part of Signavio is process manager. So as I mentioned, the process manager is the place where you can design your process flows. Okay. So for example, let me show you. So the process flows can be created like this as per BPMN 2.0 standards. It is loading. So how to create this process flow diagram as per BPMN 2.0 standards? When we talk about standards, BPMN 2.0 standards, these are the elements of BPMN. How to remember these elements and at what point of time, what kind of element to be used. So all those details I'll explain in detail as part of our training. Okay, so that I'll also give some you know um, tips to how you can remember these elements. Okay, I'll show you some examples for each and every elements of this BPMN so that you can remember them and you can start whenever you're going to create a process model diagram as per BPMN standards. You can visualize that and you can start creating those. Okay, so everything is ready with in terms of documentation. I will provide everything to you as part of our training. Okay, any doubts so far, anyone? And as part of this Signavio process manager, you can find various uh, features like reporting feature or import or export feature or compare feature, simulate feature. What are these features? What is the use of these features to the business? Okay, I'll teach everything as part of this solution. Okay, clear? Any doubts?
No. Thanks.
Yeah. So this is all about tool. Yeah. I think JN. Any doubts, JN?
So one thing, right? So SAP might have given all standard process flows, right? So maybe hundreds of thousands of process flows, right? So which
Those are
which
best
which may
practice.
be which may be relevant to the current business process or which may not, right? And we can simply copy that template and then edit as per our requirement, right?
You're right. You're right. So those process flows which you have mentioned, those are SAP best practices. That means to be process models. So how SAP suggests to have your process flows, whereas when you look at your current process, that might not be the case, right? Or sometimes the best practice might be changed as per your organization or as per your industry or as per your country as well, right?
Mhm.
So how you can see, as you mentioned, you're right, you can take the template and you can tweak those process flows as per your requirement. Okay.
Mhm.
So generally these process flows are used as part of your fit to standard workshop as part of your transformation project. So generally these as part of your fit to standard workshop, you design your process flows and document your process flows in Signavio process manager, and then these process flows will be exported to your cloud ALM, where you can generate the test scripts, or where you can plan your sprint, or where you can plan your project related life cycle, everything in your cloud ALM too, right? So to be able to do that, Signavio is the base where you create your process flows and maintain the documentation, and then you can transpose this to cloud ALM, which will help you to perform your fit to standard workshop.
Yep.
Does it
Okay,
answer?
thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So generally the Signavio is used for these two purposes. Okay. So not only for these two purposes, various purposes, but as part of this, these two purposes are very familiar. As part of that, as I mentioned, the Signavio tool is used as part of digital transformation journey from ECC to S4. Okay. Whenever we talk about the transformation, the Signavio tool helps you to understand your as-is process, and based on the identification or understanding your as-is process, what are the different capabilities of S4 HANA can help you to optimize your process, right? So what kind of Fury apps available, or what are the various S4 HANA capabilities available, or what is the obsolete data or unused data you have in your data. So before migrating to S4 itself, you can identify those unused data which can be cleansed or archived before migrating to S4 itself, which will reduce your data management cost, right? And also which will help you to optimize your process while moving to S4 HANA, right? So by adopting any automation capabilities, nowadays SAP is promoting enterprise automation as a solution for every organization, right? So as part of that, Signavio will help them to understand their business process, and then using RPA tool, which is robotic process automation tool called SAP Build, to automate their processes. And integration suite, they have introduced integration suite is the platform where you can integrate with several SAP or non-SAP systems to automate your entire enterprise related processes. So this is end to end for you. So as part of that, the Signavio is the base for everything. It can be for transformation or it can be for continuous process. So if it is transformation, it will help you to understand your as is process, and it will help you to understand your data, and which will help you to cleanse or archive your existing legacy data. And also it will help you to identify the potential automation areas or improvement areas, which will help you to optimize them before migrating to S4. Even after migrating to S4, as part of enterprise automation initiative, it will help you to understand and monitor your process continuously over the period of time, and also it will help you to automate your entire organization's processes, and integrate with SAP or non-SAP systems to automate your entire enterprise altogether. So for everything, a Signavio is the base to understand your process. Okay. So this is all about whatever I've mentioned. So there are a lot of projects coming in for Signavio, where a lot of customers have procured their license for S4 HANA, but they have not started their migration journey. So there are a lot of potential for Signavio to to understand their processes and to model their processes and to design their to be process flows and then to perform their fit to standard workshops and all. The Signavio is crucial throughout their transformation journey, not only for transformations, it will also help them in their continuous process improvements as well. So this is the scope of Signavio. So who can learn Signavio? So for me, everyone can learn this Signavio. So those might be freshers or the persons who might be working on various domains like process mining consultants. Other than Signavio, if they are working on other tools like Celonis, Saris, or UiPath or IBM, whatever the tool, they can also learn the Signavio. Compared to others, Signavio is easier to learn, and the market share is also higher than the others. Okay, so they can learn Signavio and then transition their journey from other process mining tools to Signavio. Okay, and then SAP consultants who are involved in their day-to-day projects like transformation projects or other projects as well can learn this Signavio. And if they want, they can shift their career from SAP to Signavio to grow more in their career. Okay, because there is a lot of traction coming on for Signavio. Okay, so since SAP is promoting entire automation, recently Korean SAP CEO announced that by 2027 there is no manual postings going to happen in their SAP system. So towards that mission, SAP is heading towards that. Okay, so as part of that, we need to shift, or we need to we can move forward to adopt new technologies like Signavio or other automation tools like that, right? Other cloud tools. Okay, so and other BPM consultants who are working on other BPM tools like MS Visio or Adonis or other BPM tools can also learn the Signavio, where they can have knowledge and process mining as well, along with this process modeling or manager skills, which can help them to grow in their career. So, and also for RPA consultants who are working as RPA consultants can also learn the Signavio, because for every RPA consultant, the requirement comes through process mining, which is Signavio kind of tool. So the potential area identified in Signavio will move forward for automation. Okay, so for them also Signavio will help. And business process owners who are working with product companies can also learn the Signavio to model their processes or to mine their processes, which will help their organizations to realize more value using Signavio. Okay, so these are some job profiles for Signavio in the market, like process analyst or architect, solution architect, process consultant, other consultants. Okay, so process manager, process optimization manager, improvement specialist, governance specialist, automation engineer, transformation lead. So these are some job profiles available for Signavio in the market right now. So these are some customers of Signavio. Okay, so the reason being why I kept this slide is, irrespective of the industry, it can be production or service based company, whatever it is. Okay, they can use the Signavio. Say for example, Hilti is a construction company, ISDB is a banking company, Teva is a agro based company, Matmat is a pharma based company, Heller is a CNC manufacturing company, Aristocat is a gaming app development company, SWH is an oil and gas company. So irrespective of the industry, everyone can adopt the Signavio tool to mine their processes and to understand their business processes and to identify the bottlenecks in their processes, and then they can optimize their processes by adopting the improvement solutions as part of their improvement initiatives. So that's it from my end. Any doubts so far?
Naren, just I have a
Yes.
few queries about this Signavio. We have an SAP Linux. Did you hear about that?
Yes. Yes.
How Linux will be, coordinated with Signavio?
Okay.
That means like I have a lot of things need to do from the Signavio side with the LeanIX
Yes.
process, how it will impact. And I think in the recent Orlando the SAP, there was introduced like Signavio is moving to the SAP Jewel. Like all the automation process will be taken care by the Jewel. So
Yeah.
the future Signavio will be moved into the Jewel.
Okay. So here we have two questions. Okay. One is about Linux. Second one is about process AI. We call it as process AI. Okay. So uh, when we talk about Linux, generally as part of any transformation project, SAP uh, acquired a couple of tools into their portfolio to foster their transformation journey. As part of that, Signavio is the tool which identifies the processes, okay, based on the data, okay, and which will help them to create their as and to be processes and all. Whereas when it comes to Linux is the tool which is used to identify their enterprise architectures. How many number of tools are there? How many number of interfaces are being used in their processes? Okay, so what are those, and for which process that particular interface is being used? Okay, is there any substitution in your S4 HANA? So to make all these plans, Linux will help you. Okay, whenever we talk about the integration between Linux and Signavio, you can, one thing is, when you identify your process, you're identifying you're identifying your business processes along with your based on your data, right? So you're identifying the bottlenecks as well, right? As part of that, you should identify the tools as well. IT systems are being used as part of your legacy system, right? So in Signavio, you can create a model for enterprise architecture as per Archimate 3.0 standards. Like for process flows, we have BPM and 2.0, right? For Archimate, for enterprise architecture, we have Archimate 3.0. So you can create basic architecture, enterprise architecture for your as is enterprise architecture, and also you can design your to be enterprise architecture as well. Okay, so if you have Linux in your portfolio, where you can deep dive your analysis into your enterprise architectures, how many number of systems are there, and you can identify using Linux. This is all about your Signavio and Linux integration, as well as about the Linux. Okay, in a nutshell, not in detail. Okay, now the second question is about SAP Zone. Yes, Signavio, in Signavio also, Signavio introduced the process AI. We call it as process AI. Okay, using process AI, there we have five features available as part of process AI. Those are, if if you type what is the best practice for procure to pay, based on the best practice explorer or database of SAP, it will start providing you the procure to pay process recommender. Okay, what are the best practices for that? And also, one more solution you have is process insights KPI recommender. If you want to identify, say for example, if you want to perform some analysis for procure to pay, what are the KPIs to be measured for procure to pay? You just type it, it will show you, okay, what are the KPIs available, and how you can use them. So such kind of data you can get. The next feature is text to process. By typing your the by giving some description in your process AI, it will generate the process, but not that much detail, because I have explored it, so I'm not satisfied with that feature. Okay, so it cannot generate end-to-end process flow. Even if you write from the scratch for at least 5 to 10 minutes, or 10 to 15 minutes, by the time you can create your process flow, why do we need that process AI, right? So that is evolving over the period of time, that is in nascent stage still. Okay, so that is one feature. The next feature is text to insights. So by typing or by asking ChatGPT or Zoll, it will start analyzing your data, process mining data, and it will provide you the insights where you're lacking. Okay, why you're lacking in the future, how how the impact is going to be. Such kind of predictive analysis can be performed using text to insights. These are some features provided by process AI as part of Signavio so far. Does it answer your questions, Dilip?
Yeah, Naveen, just got an idea, but
Yeah,
not sure
yeah,
how much
yeah,
it
yeah.
was implemented.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Any other questions, anyone? If no, if you have any queries related to Signavio specifically, please let me know. Or if you have any queries related to batch, okay, please reach out to experts of team. They'll assist you in terms of batch timings and duration and all. Shall we wind up or any doubts?
One thing, so this Signavio is part of SAP Business Process Management, right? So that includes SAP Signavio, Lean IX, and WalkMe, right?
Yeah.
So in recent Orlando Sapphire, SAP has just I think they already acquired, but they announced that WalkMe will be part of SAP BPM, which will
Yes.
be very useful for the business user whenever somebody needs to be trained on anything on any cloud application, right? They can
Mm.
record each and every steps and they can just walk through it, and it's integrated to AI and Joule as well, right?
Yes.
So
You're right.
right. So for but another thing is, yeah, when you are explaining that different job description, right, and whatever you are going to explain in this training, right, it will cover everything, or you are going to explain only specific to some specific whatever that you have just described.
No, see, those are some sample job profiles which you might get in the market. Okay. So other than that, you have raised walk me right. See, we are only going to discuss about Signavio, not about Linux or WalkMe. Okay, those are separate tools altogether. Okay, as I mentioned, as part of their, to make the customer's transformation journey smoother or faster,
Mhm.
SAP started acquiring tools like Signavio, Linux, Cloud ALM they built. They are going to deprecate Solution Manager. Instead, the Cloud ALM is going to be substitute for Solution Manager to handle the project lifecycle. And when it comes to WalkMe, as you mentioned, WalkMe helps the organizations to identify the resources or to manage the resources. Okay,
Mhm.
from
Mhm.
end to end. So you know, uh, this will help the organizations to smoothen their transformation journey. So that is the main purpose of these tools,
Yeah,
in a
correct.
nutshell. Yeah.
Mhm. So,
So as part of our training, I'm going to focus purely on Signavio. So out of all these questions, I'm just explaining. But as part of our training, we are going to cover the Signavio concepts alone. Okay, like process insights, process intelligence, process manager,
Mhm.
collaboration hub. Okay, if possible, I'll try to show you how the process governance works. Okay.
Okay, and one thing, right? So are you currently working as a Signavio consultant somewhere, or you are just doing this full time as a trainer?
No, no, no. I'm working somewhere on a permanent basis. This is my
Okay,
part-time. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that sounds good, right?
Yeah. If I don't work, I cannot explain all these things to you, right?
Yeah, that's what, right. The
Yeah.
way you explained that was very nice, right? And I'm also from finance background as well as technical, right? So I'm a techno functional. So
Oh,
if I so yeah, because this is the next thing that we should have, I'm targeting to learn, right? So I'm
okay.
here because Signavio going forward, it will be a big thing everywhere, right? Yeah, either you are a functional or any,
Yes.
right? You have to know this process if the company is using that tool. Otherwise, this
Yes.
no you.
You're right. It is going to be the part of day-to-day operations as well.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, because see, the thing is, for example, right? So if any process somebody is implementing, right? So business user will have this access to Signavio where they can have just give their inputs on the fly, and the document will be created for the sign off. And once that is done, then it will go to the process mapping and all those things, right?
Absolutely, you're right. You're right. That is one thing. And after migration as well, as part of their continuous process improvements, I'm suspecting or I'm forecasting that the Signavio tool is going to be used as part of their day-to-day operations to generate their exception reports or other reports
Correct,
to
correct.
how their processes are performing and where they are lacking, how to improve them, all those
Correct.
things.
Yeah, before that, we used to create the config document and all those things, right?
Exactly.
The step by step
Yes.
and all. So this will be like a single click. Everything will be generated process wise, and it will
Yes.
be useful as part of the project documentation.
Yes, you're right.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, thank you everyone for joining. So, looking forward to meet you in our training. Yeah. So, I have total around 10 years of experience into IT, where I worked as a SAP FI consultant, and then I worked as a Celonis process mining consultant, and then I've been working as a Signavio consultant from the last more than around 3 years. Okay. So this is all about my experience, and I was involved in a couple of digital transformation projects and all. So shall we have your introduction one by one? Yeah. So
I
Vijay, can
can go ahead.
yeah,
This is
yes,
RK Madhu.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I've been in SAP space for like a few years now with my technical background, and yeah, and now I'm actually kind of interested in moving into the process mining side. So
yeah.
yeah,
Thank you, Madhu. So,
Please mention everybody's location also, where are
yeah,
everyone is.
that will also help. Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I'm in California, PST time zone.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Madhu. Yeah. So Vijay, can you?
Yeah, hello guys. I'm Vijay, based out of Atlanta. I'm into SAP since 2002. I think I would not say the senior most, but I would say the oldest in this group. I'm working multiple implementations, SAP BI, BW, Master Data, S4HANA, and I did multiple data migrations. And now I want to club the Signavio tool into my data migrations because uh, we are finally migrating the business processes also, order to cash and other processes as well. So Signavio with the regular data migration will help me a lot for my further advancement in career or whatever time I left. So I'm based out of Atlanta, as I said, and I have 23 years of SAP experience. Thank you.
Yeah, good to know about you, Vijay. Thank you. And can we go with Bhushan? I think you're on mute, Bhushan. Can you hear us, Bhushan?
Oh, sorry.
No worries.
Hi, Naren. Hi, all. Good evening, good morning, all. So my name is Bhushan Khanna. I'm with SAP from 12 years. I'm with SAP ABAP for 12 years. And just I want to switch my career to SAP Signavio.
Okay.
Thanks, Naren.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for your intro, Bhushan. Yeah, I think we have Srinivas. Yeah, hi, Srinivas. Yeah, Srinivas, can you hear us?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So can you
Okay.
please introduce yourself?
Yeah. So myself, Srinivas, I have SAP working as a supply chain consultant. I work for materials management, sales and distribution, logistics execution, and HR modules. So, as part of new project requirement, I'm learning this one. I already have the all the. I'm looking for end-to-end Signavio flows and want to add Signavio into my portfolio.
Okay. Thank you, Srinivas. Yeah, I think everyone is done, right? Okay. Fine. So let's jump into our training. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining the training session. So as part of our training, this is our curriculum. So I'm going to give you the introduction of process mining, because as part of Signavio transformation suite, process mining is the core crux of the Signavio. So that is why I'll just give you the introduction of process mining, and then some of you might aware of SAP and some of you might not aware of SAP. I'll just give you the brief introduction of SAP, how the how the different types of data or data types are stored in SAP, like data configuration, master data, and transactional data, how it is different from one to another. So that everyone is aware how the SAP is configured and all. Then we'll jump into the next topic, which is manufacturing process overview. That means how the real industry, how the manufacturing industry runs. Okay, what are the different processes involved in the manufacturing industry, right? So I'll show you what are how it functions and what are the different processes are collaborated or integrated to one to other, right? Out of which I'll take one process as a case study, which is procure to pay. Okay, and we will deep dive into this procure to pay process, like what are the different activities involved in this process. When we talk about process, combination of sequential activities to achieve a goal or several goals is called as a process. For procure to pay, what are those sequential activities performed to execute the entire procure to pay process, and what are the different challenges the business might face? How can we calculate? So we have the key performance indicators, okay, using which we can understand, or we can calculate the we can analyze what kind of bottlenecks we have. What are those critical KPIs as part of procure to pay, which can help us to understand how our procure to pay process is performing based on our data. So I'm going to explain you detailed, okay, in detail about these activities and the critical KPIs or challenges can be faced by the business. And then we'll jump into the Signavio tool. As part of Signavio transformation suite, to process insights is one of the solution. How the process insights tool look like, and how we can play around this tool, okay, and how we can how the tool can calculate the data and how it looks like and all. We'll see in detail about this process insights. Okay, so process insights is a plug and play generally, where we don't need any we don't need to write any code to define any KPIs. Tool itself extracts the data, tool itself calculates the data. So that is why I'm going to show you how the tool looks like, where you don't need any practice regarding this tool. Okay, and then we are going to discuss about the Signal code. Signal stands for Signavio Analytical Language, which is similar to SQL. Okay, so some of you might aware of SQL, some of you might not aware of SQL, but I'm going to explain you the very very few syntaxes, okay, which can help us to write the code in our Signavio Process Intelligence. Okay, and also I will share those website platform where you can start practicing those syntaxes as well. Once you get that hands-on experience on Signal, then we will jump into the Signavio Process Intelligence, where we will write the transformation code to transform the raw data into event log data. When we talk about process intelligence or process mining, okay, process mining tool can only understand the event log data, not the raw data. Okay, once we set up the once we establish the connection with the source system and extract the data into your process mining tool from your source system, that raw data needs to be transformed into the event log data. How we can transform that raw data into event log data? Okay, so what are the steps involved in that? We will see in detail during our process intelligence session. Then we have process modeling. Okay, once you identify or discover your current process in process intelligence, we can we can define the process model diagram in a process flow. Okay, or you can document your process in detail from end to end. So for that, we have a language called BPMN 2.0, Business Process Model and Notation 2.0 standards. Okay. So what are the different elements available as part of BPMN 2.0 standards? How we can remember those? I'll show you with an example. Okay. I'll show you with examples for all the elements, how you can remember all those things, so that you can create the process model diagram as per BPMN 2.0 standards on your own. Okay. Then we will create a process model diagram, and I'll show you what are the different capabilities we have as part of BPM and diagram creation, and what are the other capabilities of process manager, like reporting or import or export or compare, simulation. So what we have different kinds of capabilities available as part of Signavio process manager. So for the respective process model diagram, how we can leverage or how we can play around the process model diagram, okay, using process manager capabilities. What are the different capabilities we have as part of Signavio process manager? I'll explain in detail. And then as part of this process manager itself, we have the user management. Okay. So what kind of different roles we have as part of Signavio? So what are the different roles available, and at what level we can give the respective we can assign the respective roles to the users of Signavio, okay, based on their expertise or based on their requirement. Okay. And then we have collaboration hub. Collaboration hub is the place where all the users can collaborate at one place. Okay, developer or business user, every stakeholder of that particular business process can come to one place and can create a process model or design a process as per as part of their process improvements and all. How can we do that, and how can we leverage these capabilities and all? We'll see in detail as part of our training. Now, the first topic is process mining. The process mining technique was introduced by Will van der Oelst, okay, and his colleagues in the early 2000s. Oh, yes, Bhushan?
Yeah, hi Naren, sorry.
Yeah.
Can you go a step back?
Okay.
Here, I think I see something workflow automation process. We are covering that. I think RPA.
Oh, that is not RPA. Okay, workflow automation. Yes, actually, we have a process governance in Signavio where you can configure your process approval workflows. Okay. So I'll try to, since I do not have license for process governance, I cannot show you, but I'll try to explain you in the slides. Okay. And I'll try to keep the I'll try to take the screenshots from somewhere, and I'll try to show you, okay, how we can configure those approval workflows and how we can trigger those approval workflows and all. I'll try to explain you. Okay. So that when we talk about,
sorry, Naren. Actually, we have discussed this thing in the call, right?
Yes,
sorry for asking again.
Okay.
And there was one more question. In Signavio process manager, there is journey modeling. Something is there, right? That one we are covering.
Journey modeler, customer journey modeler.
Customer journey, yeah, something like that.
Yes, customer journey modeler or supply journey modeler. Generally, once you have this modeling languages, or once you get some idea about these notations related to BPMN, which is very easy, but we don't have license for that customer journey modeler as well, journey modeler. Okay, so but basic thing is, if you can understand the modeling language as part of BPMN 2.0 standards, which is easy for you to understand the journey modeler as well. Okay.
Okay. So for that thing, can you share the documents for customer journey model and supply journey model?
To be precise, I do not have any documentation with me right now, but I'll explore and give it to you. Okay.
Thanks, Naren. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, fine. Okay. Now, process mining is a this was introduced by Wilvander Olst and his colleagues in the early 2000s. The objective was based on the data, how as part of identifying the issues in their in any organization, the research has been started by Wilvander Olst and his colleagues. Okay, so over the period of time, they came to a conclusion after all trial and errors, methods, and different techniques. They came to a conclusion that the process, the process data can be captured, and based on the data related to process, we can perform the analysis how our process is performing and all. So as part of that, they've introduced this process mining technique as a concept into the market, where based on the data related to process itself, they can start pulling the data related to process itself, and they can start analyzing the data for that respective process. As part of that, they have introduced this process mining technique, and as part of this technology, they have introduced, in terms of identifying or in terms of discovering their process, they have introduced a couple of widgets as part of process mining tool, like process discovery. Okay, so process discovery is the widget generally which helps us to identify or visualize the process flow from end to end based on the data. Okay, how your process is flowing. Okay, how many number of transactions are flowing in the right direction, are flowing in the wrong direction, which are at which activity level or at what area you have more problems in your process. What are the different patterns available during your process can be analyzed using that widget. Okay, later on they've introduced a couple of other widgets as well, like process conformance, where you can compare your as-is process with the target process and all. So over the period of time, the tool got evolved, by introducing a couple of widgets into the tool, and based on that, you can start analyzing your process data, how your process is performing, whether it is performing well or not. So as part of that, over the period of time, they have introduced process discovery, process conformance, variant explorer, and process model, and other widgets like value, breakdown. All those widgets have been introduced as part of this process mining, where you can start using those widgets to perform your analysis, whether your process is performing well or not. So in terms of identifying the bottlenecks in your process data. Okay, so this is what process mining history briefly. Okay, so over the period of time, the process mining tool got evolved, the process mining tool can integrate with BPM systems, business process management systems, like Signavio. Okay, Signavio tool itself is a BPM tool earlier. Now over the period of time, when SAP acquired the Signavio, process mining technique got introduced into the transformation suite, where process mining and modeling or business process management system can be integrated tightly. Okay, that means using process mining, whenever we talk about integration, what is the use? Generally, whatever the process you identify using process mining, that can be created as a process model diagram for your as-is process, and you can document your as-is process in detail. Okay, so who is responsible for what, who does what, okay, which activity, which IT system is being used to perform that particular activity. Is there any detailed documentation available in your SharePoint? That SharePoint related details or the exhaustive documentation can be assigned or linked to in your BPM tool. So to that extent, the process mining got evolved. So we have some other tools in the market where they only do process mining itself. They don't do those tools cannot be integrated with BPM or process modeling tools. Okay, where they cannot document their process in detail. But there is the process mining tool has been evolved in such a way that where every process mining or the process mining tools can be integrated with BPM tools to document your process in detail. Okay, and As I mentioned, over the period of time, the process mining techniques got expanded, like, by starting with identifying the process using process discovery. Over the period of time, the other widgets or the other techniques are also introduced, or extended to the process mining tool, like process conformance and other widgets, as I mentioned just now. So earlier it used to identify, or the as is process using process discovery. Over the period of time, other techniques have also been introduced, or extended to the process mining, to identify the bottlenecks as part of your process. Okay. So sometimes, the if you look at the process insights as part of Signavio, it got evolved to the extent where you just can plug in your system, and system itself can extract the data and start calculating the uh, um, performance indicators, and it automatically identifies the bottlenecks or blockers in your process. And for those blockers, it can provide you the recommendations as well, so how you can overcome those issues or bottlenecks in your process. So to that extent, the process mining tool got evolved. Okay. And recently, as part of during this AI era, Signavio has also introduced the process AI concept into the Signavio. Okay. Where using those features, you can just type what kind of bottlenecks you have in your process. Based on your process mining data, it can predict it can analyze your data, and it can perform the analysis, and it can provide you the details where you are lacking, and how much impact you're going to have in the future if this particular bottleneck still exists for 1 year or 2 years. So such kind of analysis can be performed using this AI tool. Officially, that AI has not been introduced yet, but the developments are going on. So to that extent, the process mining tool is evolving. And earlier, when this process mining technique got introduced into the market, there was a myth that the process mining tool can only be adopted by a few industries like manufacturing and all. But the process mining tool can be adopted by any industry. It can be manufacturing, or it can be service, or it can be healthcare, logistics, whatever the industry it is, to understand their process, to discover their process, and to identify their bottlenecks in their process, and to improve their process, or to streamline or optimize their business processes. They can use this process mining tool to perform all these to perform the analysis, and based on their data. Okay. So if you look at some life insurance companies, they can use this process mining tool to perform to understand or to discover their claim related process. Okay. From getting that lead from the market, how they are creating, or how they are giving their how they are generating their insurance to their customers, or how they are supporting to their customers, and till their claim process. So what is their as is process, and what are their bottlenecks during their process, can be analyzed using the process mining tool or process mining technique. Okay. So that is not right that this process mining tool can only be adopted by few industries. It can be adopted by any industry to understand their processes. Now, when we talk about process mining, okay, what is this process mining and how it works generally? Okay, generally, process mining is a technique designed to discover the process and to identify the bottlenecks in the process. Based on the identifying the bottlenecks in the process, business can start implementing their the respective solutions to optimize their process. After adopting the respective improvement solutions, then they can monitor their process continuously, how their process is performing, and over the period of time, how they are improving their process. Okay, how they can do that? So when we talk about identifying the process and identifying the bottlenecks and taking the best improvement solutions and monitoring the process, how can they do this, right? So to do all these things, they need to perform a series of steps. They need to follow a series of steps. What are those? First, you need to identify a process, which process you want to mine. Okay. Being an organization, you may have several processes involved in your business, right? It can be procurement, it can be sales, it can be production, it can be HR process, it can be plant and maintenance, which is maintenance of your machinery during your plant, right? So first you need to identify which process you want to mine. After identifying the process, then you need to identify the process flow, how many number of activities are involved during the process. When we talk about identifying the process, it does not only involve the process, it involves the couple of sequential activities, right? What are those activities? What are those sequential activities as part of that process? Okay. And how those activities are performed. Okay, that means using which IT system that particular activity is being posted. Say, for example, in the procurement process, like procure to pay, for example, some of the activities might be posted into SAP. Some of the activities might be posted using some vendor invoice management tool or some inventory management tools like that. So in a single process, there might be chance of having multiple systems involved to execute a single process in your organization, right? So first you need to identify all the activities which might involve during your process, and you need to identify the system, okay, using which IT system that particular activity is being posted in your process, in your organization. And then you need to establish the connection with the respect to source system to your process intelligence tool or process mining tool. Okay, then you start extracting the data from your respective source system to the process mining tool like Signavio. Once you extract the data from your source system to your process mining tool, then you need to transform the raw data into event log data. This is where our expertise is very important. Okay, that means any process mining tool, why do we need to transform this raw data into event log data? So any process mining tool can only understand the event log data. When we talk about event log data, what is event log data? Each and every activity, say for example, as I mentioned, combination of sequential activities or events is to achieve a single goal or several goals is called as a process, right? So in a procurement process, you have purchase requisition, second purchase order, third, once you raise the purchase order, you'll receive the goods from your supplier. Once you receive the goods from the supplier, you'll receive the invoice from the supplier, and then the respective approval flow should be followed to approve that particular invoice, and then the respective accounting document needs to be posted into your SAP system if you are using SAP, and then the payment should be made against that particular invoice. I mean approved document, right? So during this process, okay, all these are called as activities or events. Okay, unless we feed to the system that these are the events we have in your in the respective process, how can the system identify what are the activities involved in your process, right? So we need to define that. We need to feed to the system that these are the activities involved in the respective process, and to identify the respective event, the respective data is stored in respective table or fields kind of thing. To do that, generally as part of process mining concept, we have three attributes like case ID, event name, and timestamp. If you can define these three attributes, then that particular event is defined, and system can be able to understand that in this three combination, okay, this respective event is created. Then system can understand, and it can show us that how our process is flowing, what are the different activities and what is the sequence of that particular activities. Okay, so based on these three attributes only, system can understand how your process is flowing, what are the bottlenecks you have. So that is why the raw data needs to be transformed into event log data. Okay, this transformation can happen using by writing transformation code using Signal code. Signal stands for, as I mentioned, Signavio analytics language. So which I'm going to explain in detail about those syntaxes, and I'm going to explain how to write that transformation code in detail. And what are these three attributes what I mentioned just now to transform that raw data into event log data. And once you transform this raw data into event log data, based on this event log data, okay, so I mean this event log data needs to be transformed or dumped into your dashboard. Okay, to do that you need to perform ETL, extraction, transformation, and load. So how we can do that, and in each and every phase what are the different precautions to be taken and all, I'll explain in detail. Okay, and once you perform this event, once you create this event log data, based on this event log data itself, we can start analyzing our process. So for this particular event log data, we can start creating the various widgets to perform the analysis, like process discovery, variant explorer, conformance, and other KPIs, which can help us to understand how our process is performing, what are the bottlenecks we have during our process. Okay, all those details can be analyzed using using these widgets. These widgets can be created based on event log data. Okay, once we once we can start visualizing the process, and once we can start identifying the bottlenecks using these widgets, then being a business organization needs to perform the root cause analysis, why that particular issue is happening in our process, and what are the different solutions available to overcome that particular process during our process, to overcome that particular bottlenecks. Say for example, if you identify that a lot of manual interventions are there, or a lot of manual activities are there. Say for example, a lot of purchase requisitions are created manually, or purchase orders are created manually. There is no automation used to convert PR into PO automatically, right? So to create invoice, or to whenever they receive invoice from their supplier, there is no automation being used in their organization where they can automate that particular activity. So where they don't need to involve their resources, they can utilize their resources productively. So based on the issue identification only, they can identify, or they can take the best improvement solutions, like whether they want to adopt some RPA tools, robotic process automation tools, or other solutions. Like if they identify that there are a lot of data which can be cleansed or archived, which can reduce their data management cost, or they want to perform some workflow automation in terms of they have the workflow, but they are not having automated workflow in their process, where they can automate their approval workflows using other automation tools like RPA, SAP build, and all. So they can analyze all these issues in their process, and based on the issues they can start adapting the improvement solutions using various tools like RPA or some other organizational changes and all. Then say for example, if they adopt some RPA tool to automate some activity like purchase order creation or invoice creation and all, they can monitor their process continuously, okay, by extracting the data frequently, okay, or based on they can extract the updated data, and based on their updated data, how their process is performing even after adopting the automation tool or improvement solutions. So based on that, they can monitor their process, and they can start they can achieve their end goal of optimizing and streamlining their process. Okay, so this, when we talk about a process mining, it does not only do in terms of identifying their process. It will also help you to monitor your process, and it will help you to achieve your end goal, to optimize and streamline your process. When we talk about optimizing the process or streamlining the process, what does it mean? So before taking any improvement solution, if your process would take 3 months to complete or execute the entire process, after adopting the improvement solution, the average cycle time should be reduced from 3 months to 1.5 month or 1 month. Then only we can call it as the optimized process or streamlined process based on our benchmarks. Okay, so this is what process mining does. Okay, so any doubts so far? What is process mining? Which is a basic one, but I'm just trying to understand whether it is clear.
A quick question, Naveen. I mean, like, so it's going to suggest like the time frame to reduce the process. I mean, like whatever the bottlenecks, is the system Signavio is going to suggest a approach, or is that something it's going to be like more like a problem that would be presented to us, where we need to make we need to do a deeper dive in the business process to how to reduce it? I'm just curious if the system would suggest, or it would be something more of, again, it would be brought to our attention to make the fix.
Yeah, good question. So generally, we have two solutions as part of Signavio transformation suite, which offers process mining capabilities. One is process insights and process intelligence. Process insights is a plug and play solution where you just have to connect, and system will automatically start extracting the data and start calculating the KPIs, and start identifying the bottlenecks, and for those bottlenecks it will automatically suggest the recommendations, as you mentioned. Okay, by adopting those improvement solutions, they can overcome that particular bottlenecks, whereas there are some limitations for process insights. So it can only support, it can only integrate with SAP system, and we cannot perform root cause analysis there. So what is the root cause, and which area is causing the delays, or for which plant or company code you have. So such kind of root cause analysis you cannot perform using process insights. That is, you have to use the tool as it is. Whereas and one more thing is, you can the process insights tool can only extract the data of 50 GB itself, not more than that. Okay, whereas it is not sufficient for the business to perform the analysis, right? So to do that, you can just get the quicker insights into your process, how your process is performing on a high level. Whereas there is another solution called process intelligence as part of Signavio transformation suite, which is a pure process mining solution where you have to perform all these steps, whatever I mentioned. However, coming to your question, it does not give you any recommendations. Process intelligence cannot give you any recommendations. It can only, the process intelligence, using process intelligence, you can only identify your process, and you have to calculate the KPIs, and you have to perform your analysis on your own. Okay, so by keeping some thresholds or benchmarks, okay, you can understand how that particular KPI is performing, whether that particular KPI is performing well or not. If it is not performing well, what is the root cause for that? So at what level you have that problem, so you can drill down to the next level. Is it happening at company code level, or plant level, or purchase? At what level it is happening? For which users you have that problem? You can drill down to the next level, where you can find the very granular details, like at a transactional level. So you can get the 1 year or 2 years data based on your license. You can extract the data, and you can perform the analysis for the respective time period. Okay, so these are two tools as part of Signavio, which are offering process mining as a solution. As part of that, I think, is it clear, Madhu? Yeah, I'll come to.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's what I was. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, yes, Bhushan.
For this process insights, we can get the data only from the standard SAP, or we can get the data from custom fields also?
No, you can only get from standard SAP itself. Standard tables, standard fields, everything is standard.
And whatever process intelligence, you can get the data from custom fields.
Yes, that is the difference between insights and intelligence. Even though process insights can provide you the recommendations, okay, but that does not give you the clear picture what's happening in your process. To get that, you have the process intelligence, where you can perform your root cause analysis. If it is happening for if you want to perform your analysis based on your custom data or custom tables and fields, you can extract that custom tables and fields, and you can start transforming that data, and you can start calculating the KPIs. That is the main difference.
Through process intelligence.
Yes, through process intelligence.
And suppose in SAP process insights, the data we are pushing to other systems. Maybe third-party systems, we are pushing the data. That also is not possible in insights.
Yes, we cannot integrate with other than SAP systems. You can only integrate with SAP systems. That is.
And what about the process intelligence? You can
you can integrate with any system using process intelligence. We have some connectors available as part of process intelligence. Yeah, that is what we will discuss in detail during our session. But on a whole, how the process mining works, whether it is process insights or intelligence, generally how the process mining works, that is what I've just explained. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Nari.
Yeah, fine. So using process mining, these are some benefits. Okay, so you can visualize your end-to-end process, and you can understand how your process is flowing, what are the different bottlenecks you have in your process, and you can perform and you can visualize end-to-end process. Whether that particular activity happens in some other system, you can integrate with your process mining tool, and you can start visualizing the end-to-end process of your organization, and which will help you to reduce the cost in terms of, by identifying the initial inefficiencies in your process, you can take the respective improvement solution, which will help you to reduce the cost. Or by identifying some, say for example, using process mining, you can identify the issues like, your process is not following, your business is not following proper process or robustic process. Like, say for example, you might receive, based on your data, process mining tool can identify that how many number of materials have been received, okay, without PO and with PO. For example, if you are receiving materials with PO, then fine, you're having proper structure and you're following that process. You have procurement department in place, where the procurement department can negotiate with your suppliers regarding the price or payment terms or other conditions as well. Whereas if you directly go and procure the raw materials from your supplier directly without following the process, like creating the PO and all those things, then the cost might be higher, right? If you go through the proper robustic process, your procurement department might have already negotiated with your supplier in terms of price. Say for example, per unit, procurement department might have agreed for $10 per unit. Whereas if you go directly, that same raw material can cost around $15 or $12. The cost is high, right? Because there is no proper negotiations happen without PO. So such kind of bottlenecks can be analyzed using process mining tool, where the business can focus on the respective transactions for which you have such kind of issues happening. So if it is happening for stationary kind of material, then doesn't impact your business. Whereas if it happens for your raw material, where you're not following the robustic process, then it would cost you more, right? So I'm just giving you an example, but such kind of issues can be identified using process mining, which will help you to reduce the cost in your process. And by using the process mining tool, which will help you to speed up and streamline your business processes by identifying your process and by identifying your bottlenecks in your process, and which will by streamlining or optimizing your business processes, which will automatically lead to improvement of your customer satisfaction. Say, for example, if you would identify how can it be increased when we talk about customer satisfaction, how the customer can be satisfied in terms of service, right? If you can deliver the goods on time, customer will be satisfied. If you can deliver the goods with quality with less price, then customer can be satisfied. Whereas let's take an example. In your procurement process, you're receiving the goods late. Okay, that means if you receive the goods from your supplier lately, you might not be able to produce the goods or manufacture the finished goods on time. If you're not able to manufacture the goods on time, you cannot deliver the goods to your customers on time, right? So one inefficiency in your procurement process is impacting your production process as well as your sales process, right? So that is why the process mining is important, to understand what's happening in your entire organization, at what process in which process you have more issues, which is impacting or which is causing more delays or inefficiencies in other processes as well. Okay, so by identifying such kind of issues using process mining, which will help you to reduce the cost as well as to improve the customer satisfaction. Say, for example, in the same example, if you're not able to receive the goods, your production will be delayed. If your production is delayed, your machinery idle time will be increased. That means your labor idle time is also increased. That means whether you utilize the resources or not, you have to pay to resources, right? You have to pay to you have to manage your operational cost. So this will help you to identify such potential improvement areas where business needs to focus more. Okay, and which will also help you to monitor your process continuously, and which will also help you to improve the compliance by detecting non-compliant processes or activities or fraud. Okay, so this is all about these are some benefits of process mining. So is this clear so far, how or what we can do using process mining and all? Okay, fine. Yeah. The next topic is SAP. Okay, some of you might have aware SAP, but yeah, I'll just give an overview. Okay, what is this SAP, and why do we call it as ERP? Why the ERP is important and all. So then I will jump into the next topic. Yeah. Yeah. Generally, why ERP? First thing, ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. When the technology was not evolved that much, the decentralized systems were used, right? Like maintaining their details or maintaining their data at different levels, or every department used to maintain their data at different levels. Say, for example, inventory, warehouse department used to manage their warehouse related data, like how much amount of goods they have in their warehouse and all, used to be managed by warehouse department. Whereas the same data would not be available for the real-time data would not be available for customer department. Say, for example, if customer comes to you and asks for a product, customer the sales department is not aware of what is the exact data they have. They have their own data. Okay, this as per their records, they might say that the product is not available, for example. Whereas if you go to warehouse department might have got that material from their production, and they've stored their finished good in their warehouse. But sales department is not aware of that situation. What happens? Sales department will say that the product is not available. Customer will go away, right? So this is the main problem used to be faced by the businesses earlier before before centralized system called like SAP. Okay, so some of the examples I've given here. Okay, so using decentralized system, data is maintained locally at the individual department. Sales department maintains their own data, production department maintains their own data, warehouse department maintains their own data, procurement will have their own data. Okay, they do not have the access to the real-time information or real-time data from the other department. So that is why the uh, due to this miscommunication, the respective department might not aware of what's happening exactly in the respect to other departments being an organization. Okay, so these are some problems which I've quoted here. Say for example, as I mentioned, the customer approaches the sales team for a product. He needs the product on an urgent basis. Since it is a decentralized process, the sales team do not have any real-time information access to the product availability. So they approach the inventory or production department to check the availability of the product. This process takes time, and the customer chooses another vendor, leading to loss of revenue and customer dissatisfaction. So this was the problem during decentralized system. The second would be, suppose the product is out of stock. Sales team approaches the production planning team to manufacture the product for future use. Production team checks the availability of the raw material. In a decentralized system, raw material information is stored separately by production as well as the inventory department. Thus, data maintenance cost goes up because the inventory department is maintaining the same data and production department is maintaining the same data. Like this, due to such kind of problems like data maintenance cost and no real-time inventory information and labor cost. Say for example, if there is a high requirement, okay, once the raw material is available, the shop floor department suddenly realizes they are short of workers. They approach the HR department, who in turn hire temporary employees at higher than market rates. Thus, labor cost increases. If they would have the proper plan, then they can plan it accordingly, and they can get the resources for very less cost, so that the labor cost would be increased. So such kind of planning cannot be done using decentralized system and all. Okay, to overcome all these issues, we have later on IT got evolved to the extent where they can maintain all the data in a single system. Every department can access the other departments related data. Okay, so that is why ERP technique or tools got introduced into the market. As part of that, SAP is one of them. SAP is also an ERP tool. Okay, so generally when we talk about ERP, ERP is nothing but the coordination, right? Or ERP tools share a common process and data model covering broad and deep operational end-to-end process, such as those found in finance, HR, distribution, manufacturing, service, and the supply chain. That means, being a centralized system, every data is stored in a single ERP tool where every department can access the data, so that they can access the real-time data in the ERP system. So that is why ERP, as part of that, SAP is one of the ERP tools. Okay, which can reduce the cost and which can give you the real-time information, which can help you to improve your customer satisfaction. So as part of that, I'll just try to explain some basic details of SAP. I will not go in deeper of SAP. Okay, so I'm just giving you an overview of SAP landscape. The reason being, whenever we are going to work in real-time scenarios, we have to understand what types of what is the landscape of SAP. So that is why I'm just giving you an overview. Okay, so in SAP is a three-tier architecture. Okay, where we have a development server, quality server, production server. In the development server, we configure everything, or we implement everything in the development server. Okay, whereas in the quality server, we will transpose this configured data from development server to quality server, where quality server is the place where you can test these scenarios, whatever the configuration or development you make. So to perform the testing, whether that particular configuration is working fine or not. So quality server is there, where you can have the basic data. Based on that data, you can perform your testing. Okay, and you can confirm whether that particular configuration or development is working fine or not. One, then the business will also perform their testing in the quality server. Once everything looks fine, then only that particular configuration settings will be moved to the production server, where they can use that development or configuration in the production server. So to transform from one, transpose these configuration related data from one server to another server, we have a transportation concept in SAP. Okay, so we don't need to enter into these details much, but on your high level, okay, we can just remember, what are the different, how this landscape functions. Okay, because in the real-time scenario, clients may ask us to connect with their quality system. If suddenly if we mention that what is this quality system, then that would be the different thing, right? So that is why I'm just trying to explain you what kind of landscape we have as part of SAP. And to handle all these data, we have different modules available as part of SAP, like, to handle the HR related data, we have HCM or HR related module. And to handle the sales related data, we have SD, sales and distribution. To handle the production related data, we have production planning. To handle the material related data, we have material management. To handle the plant related data, we have plant maintenance. To handle the financial transactions, we have the FICO module. And to handle the quality related data, we have QM. So all these are functional modules where you manage your business transactions on a day-to-day basis. Whereas when it comes to technical modules, you have ABAP, where using ABAP Workbench, they can develop their own reports based on RISE objects, workflows, reports, interfaces, conversions, enhancements, and forms. So whereas there is a basis consultants, who acts like who manages these servers and authorizations and access related queries. Okay, because when we are going to establish the connection with SAP's Signavio to your SAP system, we will work closely with basis consultant, where they will establish the connection based on RFP function module and all. Okay, so this is all about SAP modules we have. So, yeah. Shall I stop here? Can we continue tomorrow?
Yeah, you can continue tomorrow, but I'll be gathering some information which I can send, some questions related to Signavio and the process modules. But I think I'll wait for another sessions. Maybe you are covering later, so I will not jump up.
Yeah, we'll jump into the Signavio tool after mostly one class or two classes. Then we'll have, because before jumping into Signavio directly, first we need to understand how the industry works or how the business functions, right? So then only we can start using the Signavio tool, which can help us to leverage the capabilities of Signavio. So that is why I'm explaining these concepts.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, like, is there a place like where, is there a place like where we can have like a common distribution mail or something, like where we
you
can all
have
post,
LMS.
like a team, the team can collaborate and like we can pose questions so that it will be a learning experience for everyone on the team.
Yeah, actually we have LMS app. Okay, so for ExpertSoft, where we can collaborate there. Okay, so I'll check with Naveen also regarding this, where we generally I will get the I can only see that questions, I guess. I don't know whether everyone can be able to see all the questions. Okay, I'll just talk to Naveen regarding this, but I can see those questions and I can answer to your questions. Yeah. Yes, Bhushan.
Yeah, Naren, as you explained about this development production, so quality and production, the same process follows for Signavio also?
No, actually. So in Signavio, we only have one workspace, but depends on the client requirement. But generally, we have only one workspace, which is production environment, where you have to do all the things in the production environment itself. We don't have such kind of landscape like development, quality, and production. Okay.
So if you want to do in development, then we have to connect to development system. That's all.
No, see, we only have that one workspace itself, where you can play around in your production system directly. There is no transportation concept. Okay. So, for example, if you write some code, okay, you want to perform some testing whether that particular code is working fine or not. So you don't have such kind of transportation request concept in Signavio, where you just you will just only have one production environment where you have to play around. That's it. So
okay, so as you said that when you are doing mining, we need to connect to the servers, right? SAP servers.
need to connect to the SAP servers. Yes.
Yeah. So at that time, the initial stage of doing, we can connect to development system and we can do it, and later we can remove the connection and we can give the production server connection, right?
No. That means, yeah, whatever you want to do, you can do. Say, for example, if you want to connect with your development system or quality system, you can do that. Okay. Or if you want to connect with your production system, you can connect to your production system directly. Yeah, you can do that. Say, for example, you might create a process data pipeline for to write your code by connecting with your quality system. If you feel that it is working fine, then you can copy paste that particular code with your production system, and you can do that. Yeah. So once I'm going to explain you how the Signavio process intelligence looks like. Okay, then you can understand what can be done. So if I explain something, you cannot visualize that how the tool looks like, right? So I'm going to show you that so that you can visualize that.
So normally right now, all the companies are directly developing their process mining in production.
That's it. You're right.
Okay. Thanks, Naveen.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So yeah, we will have these I'm going to explain you these concepts for at least 1 or 2 classes, then we'll jump into the Signavio tool, because I just have to give the brief introduction what we are going to achieve out of this Signavio. So to know that, we should know all these concepts. So that is why I'm just explaining this. Okay. Fine. Yeah. I think, is it possible for everyone to connect in the weekends? I'm just trying to understand.
Yes.
Who said?
I'm okay.
Madhu. Yeah. For you, for others, Vijay, Naveen, Bhushan.
Yeah, I am okay, Naveen.
Okay. Vijay?
Yeah, I'm good.
In the weekends. Okay.
Yeah.
Naveen?
I don't have questions.
Sorry?
What was your question?
Is it possible for you to connect in the weekends? 2 hours, 2 hours on Saturday and 2 hours on Sunday. So that 4 hours.
That depends on the timing too.
Yeah, is it at the same time?
I'll inform you regarding the timing. Okay. So because some of you might be from PST and IST and EST, right? So yeah, I'll check with Naveen, and regarding that, everyone based on everyone's flexibility, I'll schedule. Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good, guys. See you tomorrow.
Yeah. Bye. Thank you. So
Thank
if
you.
you are going to have in the weekends, then we can directly connect in on Saturdays and Sundays, right? Does it work for you?
Yeah, but first let us know the timing so we can plan accordingly.
Yeah. I'll talk to Naveen regarding this. Yeah.
Sure. Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining. Bye.